Hello guys, so in this week's video we have a sketchbook update for May and June. Now I missed out on May because I just finished university and I didn't feel like I had enough to warrant a sketchbook update. So now that I have May and June over with, I feel like I have a little bit too much. So this might be a long video, who knows. Let's get into it, and before I get started, I will say that there is a fan in the background because the heat wave has decided to return with a vengeance. So I can't survive without that fan in the background, I'm sorry. You're just gonna have to deal with it. So in the first sketchbook, we actually have a picture starting off on the 4th of May. This was about 2 weeks before I'd finished my university stuff. So on Thursday the 4th of May, I did a picture of Jalul and Ember. I feel like this one is kind of a bit messed up, but it's also cute. I don't think I got the head right of Jalul, and it kind of looks a little weird in places, but it's kind of cute. So the next picture is a mermaid version of Bethany. Now obviously it was mermaid. I had to do some mermaids throughout this month, and I did this picture of Bethany. I actually did this while I was looking after the artwork for the exhibition because we had to take it in shifts to look after the artwork of my very first exhibition with my class. So during my shift of about 3.5 hours, I just sat there in one of the pews just painting. And this is what I decided to paint. The next one is a picture of Rocco. This was actually done on a shaky train on my way home, and I actually redrew this in another sketchbook that is coming. I redrew it about 2 days later and it looked so much better, but I kind of almost prefer this one, but I'm not entirely sure. You can be the judge in the comments section. Then I did some Nicholas drawings. Now this was around the time I was thinking, should I redesign some of the characters and give them like mild updates to their designs? Not major ones that would warrant an entire series of Meet the OCS videos again, because I've already done quite a lot of them because I did a whole series back in 2015. I don't really need to do another one if I've already introduced them. Then we go into Heather's fan art. Now I did a couple of compositions that I really liked. So there is actually 2 compositions that ended up being final pieces of art. This is one of them. This is actually going to be the second piece of artwork that I'm to work on, and it's not done yet, so that will be coming shortly as a final piece of artwork. So you can then see JD and Veronica on this side. I'm not going to say too much about it because I don't really want to spoil that video too much, because the final artwork looks a lot different to the sketch usually. So then we have some compositions. They look like scribbles, but honestly, when you do compositions and thumbnails in your head, they usually make sense to the artist more than other people looking at them. So I can make sense of them, especially this one, because this one was actually related to the next page. But this particular one is actually a version of this, and it's supposed to be for the song Meant to Be Yours. Now this is down here because I was playing around with how JD on this side should look, and I just had a post-it note here just so I could get whether I wanted him to face that way or whether I wanted him to face that way. I kept my options open. Then this is actually the final sketch for my A4 piece called 17, or no, the piece is actually called Can We Be 17? And I actually really like it. You can kind of see where I accidentally decided I'm going to draw Veronica's legs here, even though there's a wall right here my mind lost all sense. My mind lost all compatibility for common sense at that point, which basically meant I needed to just continue on with this piece of artwork before I lost my mind completely. So the next sketchbook is this one. So it's a square shaped one. This was actually a scrapbook from Wilkinson, or Wilco here in the UK. It was like £4 I think, and I did struggle with some of these, but this is actually a sketch that was placed in it. It's Mermaid Daphne. So this is the picture I'm talking about when I said I redrew Rocco, and you can kind of see what I mean. I feel like the head came out a bit better in the way that I characterized this one, and also the anatomy turned out a bit better, but it was a bit more extreme. Now you can kind of see the difference. These only have 2 days worth of difference in this. So this was the 9th of May, and I think this one was on the Thursday I drew this. Either that, a few days afterwards I did this. So you can actually see the extremes that I talk about when I'm talking about the twins, because even though they look alike, they're not alike in body type or anything. So the next page we go into Scrawlerbox thumbnails. This is actually for May's Scrawlerbox. I will leave a link to that in a card in one of the corners at the top. So we did some mermaids. I felt like the mermaids was a bit generic, so I actually went into doing a jellyfish girl, which was something that at the time the theme of the YouTube Artist Collective was Ocean World, and quite a few of the artists did these Ocean World jellyfish girls. So I thought that would be a really, really cool thing to do for the theme of Stranger Worlds. So you have some thumbnails, and then this is the final design of the girl. So then we have Nicholas. Now I did use my gold paint on this, you can kind of see it. Yay! I actually really like the way these drawings turned out, especially this one, because it shows Nicholas's sneaky personality. And then there's gold in the chains as well, but the gold in this area is overtaken by the massive gold up here, but you can see the gold down here. That's cool. And then this came out okay as well. The only thing is, because it's a square sketchbook, that was the main issue, because I felt like it usually makes me squish down the characters in their size, because I feel like the drawing should be stretched a little bit more, if you know what I'm saying. Not by much, but it just feels a little bit crammed in. Then a really bad sketch like this. Oh great, an alarm outside. Don't know whether you can hear that. Then we have some Jemba sketches. So Jalul and Ember. This is around the time that Jenna came to me and told me about this song called Only Us from the musical Dear Evan Hansen. I'm still yet to watch the rest of Dear Evan Hansen, because I watched the first 10 minutes and then got distracted. I'm the worst person when it comes to distractions. I will just get distracted, and as soon as I'm distracted, you've lost me. I'm sorry. So I really need to watch the rest of Dear Evan Hansen. The song Only Us is definitely something that relates to Ember and Jalul a lot, so it's really cute. These are the first initial sketches I did when I heard the song. A picture of Jelena as a mermaid. I'm not entirely convinced by this one. I think the pose is really sucky, but it's okay. Picture of Mira. It actually says, the angel who gave up her freedom for love and lost everything. Then the next picture is of Alex. Now, some people have been calling her Sapphire, and that's fine, but that is actually her stage name. Her real name is Alexandra Marie, which is a play on the words aquamarine, which is a birthstone. Ironically and coincidentally, my birthstone. I call her Alex. Other people call her Sapphire, which is fine because that is her stage name, as I've said. But I personally call her Alex, and she is Ruby's cousin. The reason why she went with Sapphire for her stage name is because she competes with her cousin Ruby, and she wants a cool gemstone or birthstone kind of name. And I feel like her design makes me play around more with neon colours, and that was due to the fact that I designed her for a highlighter challenge. But I really like her design. I feel like it's definitely unique, and it's something I never would have come up with, and it has like this certain charm to her design that I really love. So then we have Ruby and Alex. You can see it shimmer. I actually have to really be careful with this page because the pen that I used for this page is actually a Spectrum North Sparkle pen, and those pens, they're very amazing to use with its glitter, but the glitter doesn't stay put. Well, most of it stays put, but there is quite a bit that actually gets on your hands. It's like regular glitter, but it's like really fine. So the next page is of Ruby. Now I wanted to have a go at shading her with some actual Copic colours to see what skin tone I would go with, and I felt like a more orangey kind of skin tone. I think her skin tone is actually E93. That is her skin tone outright, and I love the way I did her eyes because she originally had pink eyes, but I felt like that was a little bit too weird for a natural eye colour, so I decided I'm still going to have the pink eyes. That's going to be actually the colour of her powers, so when she's using her powers, her eyes turn pink, but her natural eye colour is actually blue. But in one of her eyes she actually has heterochromia, which has this brown streak in one of her eyes. And that's kind of why she has the blue and brown hair, because she really likes the heterochromia in her eyes, so she went with the hair as well, just to make it match. So this particular sketchbook I actually started not long ago, and I'm already quite a ways through it, so I'm actually really happy about this one. There's this picture of Loki here. Now I really wanted to draw some of the characters, but only Loki managed to get finished properly, and because I'm really wanting to like stick stickers everywhere on my sketchbooks, wanting to personalize them more, the only stickers I had was like this one, which was up on my pinboard for a long time. I got it from Comic-Con a few years ago. I did a drawing of Loki and I stuck it on the front. This was done pretty recently, so it's okay. Then the first page, I actually started over here and I did this pen sketch of Melissa and Loki. These are actually just done in fine liner. There was no pencil on this side. This one was actually a pencil sketch that I just elaborated on later on. But these were actually completely pen sketches that I did outright. That is why you can see this yellow streak. This is actually a post-it note that is stuck on. Now I completely ruined Melissa's mouth when I was drawing it, so I needed to change it. I needed to fix it. That's the good thing about post-it notes. They're there for you when you need it the most. The next page is Ruby and Mira. Now this was around the time I was doing a lot of Ruby and Mira stuff, so that is why I decided, you know what, Ruby and Mira, they need more love than I'm giving them already, so let's just do a page. Now the original picture actually started off with Ruby, and then mirror on this side, but nothing in between. And then I got crazy with my watercolours and my pens and everything, and it just ended up into this mess. So then we have this drawing right here. I was exploring different body types, and that is something I actually really want to get into, just body types in general, so you can kind of see the different type of body types. I really want to start drawing more differences with the body types. I'm thinking of changing a body type of like a background character or something, just so I can test out how I want it to look a lot better, to just see what I want. On this side you can see all the different suggestions that I had for the style challenge and all the different ones I wanted to go with. And then I got some pens. These are just cheap felt tip pens that I got from the works, and then I used them to create this. I was just testing out to see how they would react with water, and they worked really well with water. They were really cheap, so I could just get a lot of stuff down very quickly. And then we have Ruby. Now I just did the blue streak with the pen because I thought that looked really cool. And then we have this. This is just an ink roller pen that was just watered down incredibly quickly before it dried. And then some of the red marker that was watered down. Then we go on to the expressions challenge. I don't know whether it's a challenge, but it's an expressions grid, and I posted that to my Instagram. It's still on my Instagram if you want to do some suggestions, because I really kind of would like to do a challenge video based on this. And I just drew some of my favourites, or some of the ones that I thought would work very well. And I have Jalul with B4, Ruby A3, Skylar D6. So Ellie Art on Instagram decided I'm just going to pick a really random one, and it was probably my favourite one. Because emotionally, because Skylar is not one of those characters who expresses much emotion. Then we have these two expressions. I think it was Molly who suggested this. She usually comes to my live streams, and she's known as dragon.doodles on Instagram. She suggested Loki and Nicholas. Loki in E4 and Nicholas in C8. And this particular suggestion actually had a kind of situational kind of thing in my head when I saw what emotions they were. These sketches were done during Sammy's live stream. Basically, there was this whole discussion about Mira and her mirror and who owns Mira's mirror. So I was like, Sammy, don't make me do this. Don't make me design another character. I have so many. I don't need any more. But of course, I went into my sketchbook with my pen and just doodled some little designs. Whether these will actually be final designs, I don't know. I don't know. She does look like Veronica from Heathers. And a picture of Christian. This was just a really simple sketch that I lined and then coloured at like 3 AM. It was like just splash paint on it. So that is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. There is actually more behind this picture of Christian, but I don't really want to go into it because it's a topic for another video essentially. So I don't want to have any spoilers to it. I will see you guys in my next video. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye guys!